Hey YouTube, what's going on? Got a quick preview video for you guys today. It's not done yet, but I want to show you where I'm at with it. It's something that I've been wanting to do pretty much since the show came out, and I've decided to do it. So I am converting an original Black Series Darth Vader helmet into an Anakin Skywalker reveal helmet. Now, as you can see, I've gone through and tried to match out as much of the cutaway that we get in that particular episode. The big source material is, of course, the episode of Tested that Adam Savage did, because in that we were able to see a lot more of this helmet up close. Now, the Black Series is actually ideal for this. I still got some crud that needs to come off of this thing. For a couple reasons, but the main reason I like it is because this particular lid has so many different layers of plastic associated with putting it together that you really do get to build up all the layers. So the one thing that I don't like about it too much is that it makes it this needs to get out of here, absolutely flimsy. It's super flimsy, so I've got to reinforce it. Now, how am I going to do that? Obviously, this wonky piece, I'm going to go in and put the back onto the helmet, because as you can see, the Black Series helmet only goes to a halfway point. So that means that there's nothing back here to get the rest of the lid, because the lid was actually like a 3/4 lid that they did. It was a 3D print. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to go and take pieces that I've cut away and attach it on the inside of this to build this up, so that when you put this on, it creates that sort of final look. But this particular helmet is a lot of fun to do. The other thing that I really like, which of course I haven't really brought up, is that because this is a Black Series, the entire top piece is where all the work is. So that comes right the hell off. And then you just got this flopsy thing left over. I've gone in and painted the eye red, so that's all something that I changed. And then you still have the lower part of the mandible. So you could actually take this apart and attach it the way it was supposed to be designed to still, and mount it. So it's actually a lot of fun to do this mod. It's really simple. It just requires you to take the helmet apart completely and then go in and cut away each section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip the camera around and show you a little bit of a close-up of what this looks like, provided it doesn't fall apart. So the major thing that we did was really just go in and trace out a pattern of where all the parts are. And in so doing, you take the helmet apart, and each layer you trace out what you need to. And you can see the silver where I made the trace lines. These are all my template lines. And you just cut away. And each time your goal is to create a little bit of overlap and things, so it looks like it could potentially be cut from the same thing, but you really want to show off the layers. So, a couple things that strike people right away is, got to remember, sorry, the straps and everything, you want them hidden, so you do want to add another piece back here of one of the pieces cut away, just so it comes up on the inside. The best thing to do is to attach it to this piece here. The other thing is that when this is not attached, this piece of the mandible, because this is not connected here anymore, this is extremely flimsy. And so you really want to try to reinforce this somehow. Haven't figured out how I want to do that yet, but I'm working on it. Part of me thinks I could just plastic weld this piece over this to this and then just create that sort of bridge just the same. But either way, the goal was to really make the helmet on this side still look Black Series, and it still works. It's got full functionality. And ideally, you would want it to make the wheezy sound when it comes off. I'm working on how I may want to do that, so I'm going to think about it. But when you get in here, we know for a fact that there's a split. Some of this is all grunged out. I've gone in and repainted the inside of this helmet so that there is more detail. But I did preserve some of the fancy stuff they did with the Black Series, but you can take this top piece off because it is magnetic. And like I said, you just have those two layers are one layer, and you only get to keep 2 screws doing it my way, so that gets a little flimsy. But as you can see, like I said, there's no top piece here. So the other option is, do I go in and create a plastic backer piece that connects from the back of that over to this to help stabilize it a little bit and plastic weld it down? I could do that. I may do that. It really kind of comes down to how I really want to finish this. But man alive, does this thing look so much cooler as a jacked up, ripped up helmet than it does as its standard oversized. And if you have the new Kenobi one, you could do it to that too. But for me, I think, why not use the original Black Series if you have one, hack that up, and then the lower mandible, you could use the Kenobi one if you have it that has the longer neck, and Bob's your uncle. But you get to preserve all this padding and everything that they did, which is just great. Now, one thing I did was, because I wasn't sure if this was going to hack up good, is I did a test hack over on this side, because you don't see it anyway. And that allows me to make sure that when I hacked this up, it wasn't going to come apart. I wasn't going to blow anything up or jack up the magnets or anything like that. And I was actually able to go in and preserve some of these, 2 of these, so I can cast those up and reuse them if I need to. But this does fit on me just fine. I'm going to throw it on really quick and show you guys. But it sits beautifully. It displays very nicely, particularly on this silicone mask stand. I'm going to throw it on really quick and show you what it looks like on my brain. All right, so once you've attached it, like I said, this still works. And if I separate it, it'll still do that. So the trick is, how do I get it to attach but still make that one sound that I like? Do I hack something else up and change that? I don't know. I'll figure it out. But as you can see, you do get a very... Now, I took the lens out. So there was a padded... Where is that thing? This thing. Took this out completely, and I've painted this and has this piece. This piece in detail is actually on the molded plastic, so you don't even need it. But I will say... Ow, got to be careful with how you Dremel your bits. So one of the things that I'm going to do to finish this is I'm going to go over all these silver edges, which I've highlighted so that I have a guide, and use black hot glue to create the melt effect. You need to have the melt effect. Right now, it just looks like somebody Dremeled it off, but you got to have some melt. Like I said, I do want to put a piece back here to attach this to this a little bit to have it hold some shape. And then you take this guy. And I can't really see wonderfully out of this eye because I used a stained glass red paint over the lens just so that it looked red. But since this eye is exposed, I can see well enough. But it's not ideal. And then this goes right on top. And it snaps into place. And now you have your Vader profile. And you have all this. So if you're going to do makeup, you don't need to do a full face makeup. It's very, very minimal. But you do sort of get that Anakin look. And if you wanted to create a bit of a prop under here to help keep this upright and elevate this, it really does line up nicely. So this looks really good. And again, like I said, if you swap this out with the new one they did, the new Black Series from Obi-Wan that has a thicker neck drop, and this grill is a lot smaller, it looks a lot better. So this is how you can display your Vader. But as you can see, you get all these layers. This huge chunk out the back is missing, and that's why I want to get one little piece back here just to kind of help with that. You do the scar, you throw your contact in, and you're Vader, man. You're exposed Vader. You can breathe, you can articulate, you can speak, you can walk around con and actually see out of one good eye, which is nice. You can also buy some replacement lenses and just hack it off and put these in instead. And then you'll be able to see fine. But overall, I'm not too worried about the red lens. But this gives you the ability to walk around con and have some ventilation. If you've worn a Vader costume, you know it's hot as fuck. So this is actually a lot of fun. I really like it. It was a super easy process. Just take it all apart and hack it up in pieces and reassemble it. It's not that hard.
I do recommend it if you haven't done it. God, there's these little barbs that I did not take care of. I should have worn this at least once before I settled on how much hacking and slashing I did. So with melted plastic, when it rehardens, it barbs up and it stabs you really good. So again, I painted all the edges silver so I could see all the layers and make sure that I had a profile that looked the way I wanted. But now I've got to go in and do the melt, and then I've got to paint that and paint it in such a way that it has that sort of heated metal look. Again, that tested video is ideal for that, but this really does give you that Anakin profile. And he says, you know, the big quintessential line, which is, you know, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did, you know, and like that was one of my favorite Vader moments ever. So to be able to kind of have this exposed, to be able to go to a con and utter those lines, or go to an event and utter those lines, I'm really excited about it, even though I technically don't have any plans to wear a Vader. I actually have plans to wear a Palpatine at an upcoming event. But the other thing is, what I like about the Black Series, oh my god, that echo chamber, is that this piece in the show, when this is all set up on Anakin and it's all up in here, and I've gone through and repainted all these, and I'm going to reposition these so you can see them in the thing and all that. But like if I were to just take the lid off and flip the helmet around and show you kind of, don't break. Oh, that is in such bad shape. We're going to have to deal with that. I did go in and paint the inside and everything in there, so it does have a nice kind of display. I really wanted it to look as complete as possible. I know, I got to get something stable in there. I'll figure it out. But when they lower it onto Anakin in the show, these two pieces are together. Same thing in Empire Strikes Back. You see Vader with this, and then the thing drops on him. So with this Black Series that they did, either one, the original or the new one, you can do that move. And that's pretty awesome. I really love how this thing came together and is what it is. It's a lot of fun. But like I said, it needs a little bit more work, so I'm going to continue to work on it, and I'll post a final version in costume when I finally finish it. Thanks for checking this out. Hopefully you enjoyed this little update on some of the stuff I do when my books are drying. I did this in between two books drying, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to make Obi-Wan Vader reveal helmet. And I did, and it was fun. So thanks a lot, and remember, if you can't build it, buy it. If you can't buy it, build it. But every once in a while, it pays to do both.